Finn and Jake have to find a new home. It's gonna be tough for a boy and a dog on their... Okay.
Man, I wish I was finding a new home after hearing that, because I want to leave here right now after hearing you sing.
I'm glad you liked it so much.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
It was inspiring.
To the second episode of our Retro Time podcast.
A retrospective on the entirety of Adventure Time, starting at episode 1.
Oh, yeah. And today, we're going through episodes 8 through 14. And... oh boy, is it glorious.
We've got some gems in here.
I know, we got some really... I'm surprised.
Is a very solid grouping right here.
Yeah, I was thinking back, I was thinking, season 1, it might take us a while to get some of the really good ones that I remember. But, no, we're already there. We're already some of my favorite episodes.
These are some of the best ones we got. Speaking of one of the best ones, we'll get right into it, because there's not really much else to talk about except Adventure Time right now. So let's talk about Business Time.
Business Time. Because it's business.
It is business time. It's time to get down to business, to the good episodes of Adventure Time.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, through the dark ages of the first 7 episodes.
I could have sworn that in this episode, at some point, they would go it's business time, but I don't think they ever did that.
They definitely didn't do that.
My memory's wrong. Anyway.
Right then. Business time.
But this episode opens up
with... a really good episode.
Finn and Jake have to find a new... No, wait. Finn and Jake are using flamethrowers to melt icebergs that wash ashore on the beach, and using the materials they find, like little shoes and computers and bikes, to construct a dock that is also a gauntlet.
A donk. They didn't... I guess that's really hard to combine. I guess that's why they didn't do it.
So...
A donkling. A donkland.
Anyway... I just love the idea that they're just sitting on the beach with flamethrowers, just melting stuff out of icebergs, like stuff from the old world.
Stuff from...
It's just floating around.
This is just like, a pastime around the beach, is to just any ice that comes up, you just see if you can find any loot. It's like running around the beach with like a metal detector.
Yeah, it's like only way better. It's like this whole world is a video game, and there's just random drops on the beach that you can go grab, and everyone's hunting for their drops. But while they're doing this, they suddenly uncover an iceberg full of businessmen.
Yeah, there's 4 very serious-looking gentlemen with disgusting sores on their face who claim to be businessmen.
So this episode is somewhat absurd, as you may have already guessed. Yeah. But basically... these businessmen are so good at their jobs that Finn and Jay get lazy, and they have to learn a valuable lesson about
delegation?
I don't know.
The message is a little confused, but, that was probably intentional.
Yeah, it's not
It all works for the best, because it's really funny.
It's pretty funny. Them just, sitting there slowly getting fat, eating all the ice cream. Or maybe it was one day, who knows?
Yeah, honestly, it was probably just one day. Because the guys, the businessmen are just so efficient. They've really got that business-like efficiency that you really want to see in your employees.
Yep.
I whip all of my employees daily unless they do that.
So here's something that happened in this episode that I suddenly remembered, in a flashback to this early parts of Adventure Time, is... Finn's screams.
Yeah.
Because early Adventure Time, Finn screams like they locked the voice actor in a booth full of snakes.
Yeah.
He sounds like he is going to die. Which
he commits.
I think his name is Jeremy Shada or something. Shada? Anyway.
I don't know.
He's pretty good with those screams. Later, he does a sort of goofy scream that's not quite as intense, but still pretty funny.
Yeah.
But these early screams, I gotta admit, as much as I like those, I miss these early super intense, he's about to die screams that he has. They're pretty great.
Yeah. they're pretty. I mean, I didn't notice those like you did, but they're pretty interesting.
Yeah, he sounds like he's gonna die.
Yeah, well, it's probably because most of the time, if you're doing voice acting, they're probably like, all right, give us a good scream, and then the kids just like,
they just go like,
all right, give them do your scream,
yeah,
and it's
like
ah,
yeah, that's not a real scream.
But then in like Adventure Time, they're like, all right, kid, here's a hammer. I'm about to smash your bum. If you don't, so you better start screaming now.
It's just the most.
They put his like head in a vice and then put like the microphone up.
I recommend go back and listen to Finn's screams in early Adventure Time. They're like they're very good. They're hilarious every single time. But basically, business time.
I didn't even remember the part where they built like a mech.
Yeah,
they built like a Finn bot.
A Finn mech, and we're doing some evil deeds. Finn stops them, saves the day.
Yeah, Finn stops them. Finn doesn't really do much.
Oh yeah,
Jake stops them.
But it's Finn's idea. But anyway, Finn says, okay, I'm going to rehire you guys. And then it just cuts to them frozen in an iceberg floating back out to sea. It's like, what did you do? Oh, I rehired them to freeze themselves and get out of here. It's like... it's like,
man.
It's pretty intense, Finn.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, Finn. You just, I mean, why don't you just hire them to go jump off of like a giant hill?
And they were never seen
They were never seen again. Off to do business in the depths of Davy Jones' locker.
Which is like... We'll get to a lot of these in this group of episodes of surprise endings that don't go where you expect exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Anyway, moving right along.
Well, really good episode though. Very classic episode. The first episode that ever makes any reference to, like, this is the first foreshadow, I think, to the idea that there's a past world.
That's true.
And that this is Earth.
Other than like the intro.
Well, yeah,
with like all that
whatever.
Stuff. Yeah. Know what you're talking about. They have like old computers and bikes and baby shoes and icebergs. Where could this have come from?
Yeah, baby shoes is a little creepy, honestly. Like,
and only lefties.
Only lefties. I think that's up to interpretation.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that we're, and this sort of aspect of the show. I like how it's very much part of the background as always.
Yeah,
it's very cool. It's just like. Is that the focus never really leaves the here and now. It's never like all about what happened back then. It's never all about the Great Mushroom War, which they actually haven't... I don't think they've actually said the Great Mushroom War yet in the show. But at some point they start calling what happened to Earth the Great Mushroom War.
Right.
But it never becomes about that. It's always about the here and now, which I like.
Yeah.
But anyway...
It's all just, it's all just setting.
Yeah.
And world building.
Anyway, let's move right along to...
My two favorite people.
My two favorite people. Oh, yeah.
Two favorite people.
This is
the Rainicorn episode.
Yeah,
the first Rainicorn
episode. First real Rainicorn episode.
Second time we've seen Rainicorn. Mm-hmm. She was in the background in the first episode. Yeah. But first time she's named, and the first time we learn about...
No, I think she gets her name the first time.
Oh, does she? No, I don't remember.
Lady Rain.
I don't know if they ever even acknowledged her, but whatever.
Anyway.
Point being that now we really get to dive into what exactly Lady Rainicorn is. But first we gotta dive into exactly Sword Shark and Science Cat.
Sword Shark and Science Cat. These two glorious beings that apparently appear every day at 4 p.m. And
are beheaded at 5 p.m. and then regrow their heads for the next day.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's pretty great. Everybody seems pretty happy with it, I guess.
Yeah, just remembering like when they eventually, way later, bring that back.
Yeah.
When Science Cat shows up. What Science Cat? He's all like, "Oh, Sword Shark. He died of old age."
Yeah. Where's Sword Shark? Oh, he died of old age.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
So sad. Rip
back.
Sword Shark.
Poor Sword Shark.
Sword Shark.
This is his only appearance.
You can make a good tongue twister out of that. Sword Shark, shields, shimmering, shining.
We'll let you workshop that one.
Okay, yeah. I'll next episode I'll have a full tongue twister for all you idiots in the crowd who love to use tongue twisters for something or another.
But yeah, we get our best new friends that never appear again except for later. And anyway,
more importantly, Jake needs to go hang out with Lady Rainicorn, but he also wants to hang out with Finn.
And I want to say how much I really like Lady Rainicorn.
Yeah,
she doesn't get a whole lot of screen time throughout the whole series.
No,
like
she gets a couple.
Every now and then she gets an episode, but for the most part, she's pretty much she's pretty minor character. Yeah, but I really like her. I really like how she just speaks Korean. It's pretty great.
It's pretty great.
I really like the way that she's like it's the voice actress for BMO, but speaking Korean instead of English. Well, actually, I guess she started as a voice actress for Lady Rainicorn. And then later becomes a voice actress for BMO because
guess so.
BMO hasn't even said a word yet.
Yeah, BMO's just getting video games.
He's getting a little screen time. He's a video game still, but other than that, he hasn't said anything.
True. I
can't wait for my boy BMO. He's gonna be there.
He's gonna be there.
I still want a BMO plush. I need a BMO plushie somehow.
I wonder where BMO comes in. We'll have to. I'll see if I can guess later. But
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Point being that.
But for now, we just got Lady Rainicorn. Her and Jake hanging out, but Jake wishes but Jake wants more.
Jake is greedy.
So, he gets Finn and Lady Rainicorn to hang out together so they can all have a big, great, fun time.
Yeah.
But it turns out that
it doesn't go as planned. Sort of.
It's funny. I remember.
Sort of. It kind of actually goes exactly as planned. But...
I kind of remember this episode as being like, Finn and Jake are kind of being jerks to each other or whatever for an episode. But it really is just Jake.
Yeah, it's kind of just Jake. Finn's making an effort here, trying to include him.
Yeah,
and then he's just like, no.
He's like, no, I don't want to go to the party. He's just being a child. Which is funny.
But luckily, it all works out okay.
well, yeah, obviously, it's... What? Oh yeah, who else appears in this episode? Shelby appears in this episode. Shelby the worm.
Shelby the worm.
For some reason, I just decided to bring that up just now.
I don't know. He's very important.
He's very important later, as we all know.
Incredibly important.
Do you remember the episode where like his butt gets cut off and he becomes his little brother? That's one of my favorite episodes, man.
It's a very weird episode.
Where is that episode? All right,
we'll get to like season 6.
I know we're not gonna get to there forever. Oh.
All right, whatever.
Anyway,
so,
what were we talking about?
So, Jake devises a plan to make them jealous.
Yes.
And by doing this, he calls his secret weapon
Shelby. No, wait, not Shelby.
What? Shelby?
I'm an idiot.
Tiffany.
Calls in Tiffany. Who later as we later know,
is a former member of Jake's very cool gang.
Did his gang have a name?
I don't remember.
It's just his band.
The Jake gang, I think. It's like Jake's gang, I think it was just called.
Anyway, his little band of thieves.
His little band of ne'er-do-wells. But, it leads to it's the funniest joke in the whole show.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I had completely forgotten about the twist at the the funny joke at the end.
It's just like, why would I be jealous? Tiffany is a boy.
Because Tiffany is a boy. And the funniest part is that Finn just goes immediately for the throat. Like, he's just gonna kill Tiffany now.
He dives on him. They're rolling around and fighting. Tiffany pulls a knife. It's like, oh my god. Yeah. This is like the most serious fight in the entire show so far. One of them's gonna die.
And then Finn spits on Tiffany's face.
It was an epic battle. And Lady Rainicorn and Jake sort of work it out through talking. Meanwhile, Finn is brawling with Tiffany, and he wins the battle, and that's how it's resolved.
He has earned the best friend spot of Jake.
It's so weird.
Beautiful. What a beautiful story.
That's a great lesson to teach the kids, everybody.
Truly lessons to live by.
If someone's stealing your friend, beat them up.
Beat them
up.
Beat them up, exactly. Speaking of great moral lessons, we need to move on to Memories of Boom Boom Mountain.
I love this episode so much.
This episode is what made me a philosopher. It really got me into moral questions. It really made me ponder morality, meta ethics.
So here's
spiritual ethics.
Here's the deal, guys. Finn swore an oath to always help anyone in need, no matter how small the problem.
No matter how small.
So, this mountain is sad because these rowdy roughhousing Viking guys are having marauders. A rowdy roughhouse battle.
And apparently they just do that all the time.
That's just what they do
for the last 10 years,
and that's the way it is. And I don't think we ever see them again.
No, definitely not.
But that's what they do,
It
makes this mountain real sad. Because this mountain is, I guess he just has a problem.
Yeah, the mountain is actually just a huge jerk, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
They should have just, blown up the mountain.
So,
but, what are you going to do?
So, Finn, ever the helpful one, is trying to get these rowdy roughhousers to stop roughhousing around. But that's what they like to do.
You just can't get them to give up the roughhousing.
Yeah, and he's got a moral dilemma here, because the roughhousers really want a roughhouse. But the mountain really doesn't want him to roughhouse.
Yeah. And maybe the mountain should just mind his own business.
Really, the mountain should just mind his own business. But Finn has sworn an oath
to
help everyone, no matter how small their problem.
Yeah, jeez. So after a few proposed solutions, such as...
involving a very strange sequence where he teaches them all to pat each other.
Well, first he ties animals to their hands.
Yeah.
To cushion the blows, I guess. Then he starts petting everybody.
And they get a little carried away with the petting. And that was kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure why everybody liked petting each other so much.
They liked it a little too much, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Anyway, they kicked the habit, thankfully, and went back to roughhousing.
Yeah. But now we got a dilemma. What's Finn gonna do? And obviously, the only solution is to turn around the entire mountain.
Yeah,
so he doesn't have to.
The second solution is to turn around the entire mountain.
But that won't work because the other mountain behind them wants to look at the back of the first mountain because it's such a lovely view.
It's so beautiful.
And she couldn't stand not being able to look at the back, so they can't do that. And then everyone else decides to come out of the woodworks with their problem.
It's pretty much open season for a bunch of idiots to run out and spew their very dumb problems.
You got a coal man, you got some mushrooms, there's a weird cactus.
Your classic menagerie.
An ice cube, a dragon.
An ice cube, an ice cube that's too cold, a dragon that needs its butt scratched.
All these typical problems that you'll find on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly.
But Finn's sworn to help anyone, no matter how small the problem.
Most people would just overlook these problems and say, I deal with these every day. I can't be doing this all the time. But, Finn pushes through.
And looking at all these people with all the problems, all their contradictory problems where helping one person would be not helping another, he is left with only one solution.
Which is help everybody.
Help everyone anyway. Because he is that good.
He's just that good.
he devises the most amazing Rube Goldberg machine of anyone.
Of anybody ever. To satisfy the wishes of all people.
Yeah. And this is why I love this show. This is probably, I want to say maybe back when I was first watching the show, this is the first episode where I was like, alright, this show is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Because, it's the subversion of expectations.
Yeah, it's the big fake out. It's
you think it's going to be all about learning.
You can't help everybody.
But it's no. You can if you try hard enough.
You can. You're just lazy.
And it's kind of great.
It's very funny.
It's a good joke. And
then they finish it all off with Jake having a problem.
Jake has a problem.
This dolphin's in love with me.
That's the opposite of a problem. And that's how it ends.
And we never see those guys again, as you said. Probably because if they ever went back there, they'd mess up the balance of their machine. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want to do that.
Let's see if I can... I want to see if I can still describe this machine.
All right. Give it a shot.
It starts with the roughhousers. They're roughhousing, and they're all tied to this pulley system that is waving paddles to get flies to go away from this giant fish, because the fish's babies don't like the flies on their dead mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of this, the flies take up residence inside the ears of the coal man.
Oh, just one thing. The fish are on top of a mountain And the fish are coming out of, like, birds' eggs in, like, a nest.
Anyway, the flies move on to the coal man, who doesn't want to hear any mute. He wants silence. So the flies just, I guess because they're in on this, they plug in the ears of the coal man so he can't hear anything. The coal man, in his jubilation, throws 2 pieces of coal, which exchanges a triangle for a plum between these 2 sort of warring factions of sorts. And because of this, they start having a little dance party with some music. This music appeases the mushrooms who just wanted to dance to music. And their dancing releases pollen from flowers. These flowers pollinate a cactus man so he can have his babies. And these babies are used to scratch the butt of the dragon. The dragon is so happy about this that he shoots fire on the ice cube who wants to be warmer, and who wants his pool to be warmer, and turns the pool to steam, thus blocking the view of the roughhousers from the mountain. And the mountain's like, hey, is there anybody roughhousing down there? It's like, no. It's like, rad.
Rad.
And that is the machine in all of its details.
Except for you forgot that the wizard needed clothes.
Oh, I forgot that the wizard needed clothes.
Ha!
And he uses the steam to make clothes. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot the most important part.
Yep.
This show is genius.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I don't have anything else to say about this episode. The show is amazing.
Wait, there's one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
In the flashback, this is the first time we are introduced to Jake's parents.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Joshua and Margaret.
Joshua and Margaret.
Who are basically just Jake with hats.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Jake with different hats, obviously.
Which I love.
It's like, what's wrong with this baby?
I love Joshua. He's the best.
Joshua is pretty good.
Oh, I can't wait until we get to that Joshua episode. That's probably not for a while, though.
Nah, it's probably like season 3.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But yeah,
we get introduced to Joshua and Margaret, who adopt baby Finn after finding him in the woods.
Yeah, it's the only, I mean, it's not like spelled out or anything, but it is sort of revealed in this episode that, like, you know, Finn was adopted by Jake and by Margaret and
pretty
Joshua.
much.
Which, you know,
I guess that is true. We're, like, learning about his family.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, is this boy and dog living together in a treehouse?
Yeah.
Well,
they're brothers.
They're brothers. Adopted brothers.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the first time, like I said. It's very cool how this, that never even really changes ever. It just stays consistent. It's not retconned ever. It's very nice.
Very nice. But yeah, I love this show. I love this episode.
Great episode.
Probably one of my favorite episodes of season 1 right there.
Another great episode.
Yeah, what's the
Wizard.
Next one? Oh yeah, Wizard.
Just Wizard.
Just Wizard. So in this episode, a creepy skeleton man offers Finn and Jake magical powers, to which they agree readily. Well, actually, no. They haggle with them.
Yeah, you gotta haggle with them. And, I mean, you can tell if they're desperate.
Yeah. And so they get a sweet keychain out of the deal as well.
Oh yeah, thank goodness.
And they... surprisingly enough, the skeleton is totally on the level and does give them free magic powers.
Yeah, he actually does.
So they go to this strange dimension where they get their magical...
Or it's just a different place, maybe?
Who cares?
They don't ever, like, go through a different portal to get back.
That's true.
They just go to... Actually, at the very end, they're just walking, and they're in the same place as they started.
They're in, like, the Windows grassy field desktop land.
Yeah.
That's where they are.
But, anyway, they
meet up with the wizard.
Whatever his name was. I don't remember. I forgot.
I don't remember.
It was the tadpole
guys. Just a bunch of tadpoles.
But they start teaching him magic.
Yeah.
Like dustomancy.
Just eat these brooms.
You must eat these brooms.
Just eat the entire brooms.
And you gotta chomp on the whole broom.
It's just funny. You know. And so they gain the power of dustomancy. And that sets them on the road to a long journey of
becoming master wizards.
And they gain many great and magical powers. I mean, Finn was like totally... after he learned about his dustomancy, he was like, "Oh man, this is great!" And he's like, "Wait, we get more." More. He was totally psyched about dustomancy.
By the way, allows you to read the emotions of dust motes.
What was the thing you said about the wife?
Like, for example, this one has a very bad relationship with his wife.
Yep. That's a sad mote of dust.
Thank goodness we have dustomancers out there keeping us safe.
But it turns out that all these magical powers were so that he could be put up in this weird rafters, keeping a meteor from hitting the magic school.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for hundreds of years, I guess. Just like cycling out people, and after they're done, they just bury them. Yeah,
they just bury them. I mean, what if you get a new Master Wizard before the other guys are dead?
I guess he gets to leave early.
He gets to leave. Yeah.
Who knows?
But one thing that you noted when we were watching the episodes is that Frog Tadpole Man does not actually trick Finn and Jake to do anything.
Yeah.
He says, "Are you ready to take this pledge of ultimate responsibility?" Finn says yes. He says, "Are you sure you might want to actually know what the thing is before you take the agreement?" And he says, "No, I want to do it now." "Are you really sure are you sure you're prepared to accept this?" And he's like, "Yes," and then he does it. So I mean, it's kind of Finn's fault.
So yeah. Like, he later says, like, "Yeah, I tricked you," but, like, did he really?
Yeah, he just kind of didn't. He said he's going to give him free magic powers, and he did.
And he said he tried to explain the oath of responsibility to him, but he didn't allow him to. So.
Wow, I've never seen anybody so unresponsibly responsible.
So, really, this guy was kind of on the level, too.
Yeah, honestly, more or less.
But anyway.
Obviously,
this won't do. Finn can't be here forever. Obviously the question is, why don't they just leave?
Well, the big question is, for me, big plot hole here, really ruined the episode for me. Big huge plot hole. So if it takes 3 wizards to hold the meteor back, why not just not kill the wizard, add Finn in, have 4 wizards, and push it away?
I don't know. Better question, why don't they all just get up and leave? Why do they need
that's true. This place isn't really that important, especially since they can pick it up with just 3 wizards.
Just evacuate the building. Yeah. Like, the meteor falls,
you got plenty of time,
and everyone survives.
All the wizards can just fly away.
Yeah, I don't...
But I guess it's much easier to Finn leading a rebellion, using the 2 to add, getting the help of the 2
using
other
his
wizards.
youth ideals.
Oh yeah, using the power and wisdom of youth culture.
Yeah.
And he leads his fellow master wizards into picking up the entire town and moving it out of the way.
Yeah, just moving it.
I mean, you could just like, I don't know, redirect the meteor so it lands a little bit farther away. You don't even have to stop it, really.
Oh yeah, and Jake isn't helping because he found the spell that lets him put himself to sleep.
He found the sleep spell and he used it on himself. And then he's like, "Jake, awaken!" And he's like, "Reflect."
Yeah. And then it hits a rock and the rock becomes sentient.
Yeah, I think the rock died, actually.
Probably. We didn't show them lifting the rock, so the rock's dead.
Yeah, the rock actually got to experience 1 moment of sentience and 3 moments of intense fear, and then died.
What a life.
What a tragedy. But anyway, they lose all their magic powers when the meteor hits.
But then the skeleton's back, and he offers them a demon heart. Full circle.
You boys want a free demon heart?
Full circle.
Full circle. All right.
Oh, this is another funny episode.
Really funny episode.
Eating brooms. Just the best kind of nonsense. What's next on our list?
Evicted.
Oh man, everyone's favorite character.
The Marceline.
The vampire queen, has arrived for her first appearance, and is pretty great.
And yeah, is pretty great in her first appearance. Very scary.
Very spooky.
I was frightened out of my mind.
Me too. She steals their house.
Yeah, she steals. Turns out Marceline had already claimed the tree.
Whatever that
means. Long ago, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess it means she owns it.
Yep. She takes their house. So they go on a little house hunting. And we get something I dearly miss in the later seasons. a lovely song from Pendleton Ward himself.
Beautiful.
It's such a great song. Finn and Jake are off to find a new home. I love it so much. It's really catchy. And, you know, Marceline's singing in there, too. She doesn't get one of her own songs until later. But, you know, that's pretty much what she's famous for.
Yep.
Having songs.
Yeah, it's really funny. They do a lot of cool stuff.
Marceline's pretty great.
They run around, find a cave, and throw a big party.
But Marceline shows up and crashes it. And she's going to take this new cave house.
Yeah. Very odd.
Yeah,
Very odd. I wonder why.
Because I'm 1,000 years old and I've lost track of a moral code. Yeah. It's like, okay, gotcha. That justifies everything, Marceline. It's okay.
Good work.
Yeah, finally Finn decides, no, I'm going to beat her up.
Stands up. Yeah, Finn puts his foot down.
Yeah, Finn wanted to fight her from the very beginning. Come down here and fight me, vampire. It's pretty great. So, Finn has a great epic battle with Marceline. Truly a battle for the ages. He loses because vampires are really powerful, man.
Yeah, vampires will kill you.
Yeah. If only he was a ghost. As we all know.
Yeah,
ghosts be vampires.
Not a ghost. Not even close.
But anyway.
But yeah, his fighting spunk really, I guess really impresses Marceline.
Yeah, really impresses Marceline. Decides, you know, you guys can have the treehouse. I'll just live in this cave.
And then they return to the treehouse.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about the ending of this episode because it's just so out of left field.
So the psychic worms are in full force, and you were just like, oh wow, look at all these worms. I hope they didn't get on the bed. And then suddenly King Worm comes down from the top and psychically commands them to hug him, and that's the end of the episode. But did you realize the implication that Marceline had to leave the treehouse because of the King Worm?
No.
That's why she was at the cave.
Oh. Genius.
Yeah. I didn't notice that I only noticed it this time.
What were those?
So whatever that King Worm is, it's pretty dangerous. It's strong. It might even be stronger than ghosts. Who knows?
Impossible.
Well, unfortunately, King Worm never shows up again.
Oh, so never again. Obviously, we won't be hearing from him in a later episode.
Well, luckily, he is actually secretly the Lich. So he actually...
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, that's everything that happens in that episode. Marceline.
I totally forgot that this is when that King Worm got introduced in this episode. That's so weird. Because, you know, it's just like right at the very end. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah.
By the way.
What the... It's almost like they literally just had like 2 minutes of... Like, not even 2 minutes. 30 seconds of episode left. So they decided, that King Worm. He just shows up. And that's the end of the episode. It's the weirdest... It's a very non sequitur.
Yep. Yeah, this is the first time it's established that vampires drink red.
I guess. It's the first time to establish that vampires exist.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, you could have assumed that. Even though vampires technically at this point don't exist except for Marceline.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Marceline has killed all of them at this point.
Killed all the vampires.
I guess that was before she lost track of her moral code.
Yeah. Oh, man. Marceline's so cool. Even in these really early episodes, she's got that. She's different from how she is later, but she's got that same sort of cool personality going on. And I like her. Moving right along, we'll talk more about Marceline.
Oh, there'll be plenty of time to talk about Marceline, like entirety of season 2 or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty great stuff.
But
for now we got to move on to City of Thieves.
The City of Thieves.
Another great episode.
A really great episode title. I really like that title.
That's a pretty good title.
Very cool title. That could be a name of like a book.
Good idea.
It probably is the name of a book. But you know what? Point being, the City of Thieves is there as Finn and Jake are ominously told by a tree witch.
Yep. Oh yeah, it just pops out of a tree.
Yeah, it's just like...
They're just I like how this episode starts. They're just wandering through the forest. Like, you know, Finn's on stilts for whatever reason.
You know, proving that he can walk on 4 legs.
Yep. But like the whole concept is they just wander around and find adventures. Oh yeah, I guess that's why it's called Adventure Time.
It turns out right now is Adventure Time.
Yeah, and they went on an adventure. They found a city that's called the City of Thieves. This young girl needed help getting her basket of flowers back, and by golly, they're going to help her out.
The tree which warns them that no matter how pure that they think they are, the city will make them into thieves.
Pretty
very ominous.
But
Finn rebuffs and claims he will never be a thief. No matter what.
And they go into the city, and I love literally every second that when they enter the city, it's just watching, like, you know, the guy runs out, grabs the diamond, someone grabs the diamond from him and, like, puts it in a bigger diamond, and that guy, like, gets the diamond stolen, and it's just, like, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch, like, the sort of exchange of all these things going around like crazy.
Yeah, because it's funny because it's, like, they'll steal the one thing, but they'll also steal, like, another thing that the guy had. And then that'll get stolen, and then another thing will get stolen, but then the first thing won't get stolen. So it's just, like, it's a really funny chain.
Yeah, it's just...
Like, my glass!
After, like, he stole those glasses.
Yeah, he stole those glasses 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's just... And, like, just... There's a lot of... especially animated shows that will do this thing that's just sort of, like... movement for the sake of filling time. But this one really, like, it's just really fun to watch. Like, all these things happen. True. Like, it's really creative. Like, all these, just a whole bunch of random different sort of creatures and monsters that all live in this city of thieves.
Yeah,
all stealing from each other.
It's a very diverse city, the City of Thieves. Yeah. They don't discriminate against who can be a thief.
Yeah. But basically, they're trying to track down Penny's flower basket.
Which everybody wants for some reason.
For some reason, everybody really wants. But they probably just want it because obviously Finn wants it.
Sure.
You know, so they're going around, but as they're chasing after this basket, they're also beating up thieves because that's what they do.
Yeah, they've got to purify them with their violence.
Oh, except for the one who just says, "Hey, stealing is bad!" And then he just, like, looks all sad and drops the diamond. It's pretty great.
Stealing's wrong, you doofus.
It's pretty great. And they're just running around, chasing after these guys as, like, it keeps on exchanging hands and going all these crazy directions. I want to live in that city. Like, just this one-off episode with this crazy one location. I just want to be there because it's so cool. Yeah. It's so fun to just look at and see.
Well, after they give up trying to follow it, Penny suggests that they go to the Thief King's Tower.
That's right, yeah.
Where all stolen things end up eventually, I guess. Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like, how would they get in there if they can't go through the barrier?
I'm just going to go ahead and say this was a brilliant lie by Penny.
A brilliant lie that neither Finn nor Jake could see through because they're both idiots.
They're very trusting. So they head to the tower. On the way...
Jake steals some boots because he can't help himself. He really needs those boots.
The boots take advantage of Jake. and
so he can't enter the tower because it's not...
Yeah, it's got the anti-thief force field.
Yep. So Finn enters alone and retrieves the chest full of the Thief King's gold and gives it to Penny, who reveals herself to be a thief after all, who is playing the long con on these fools. Got him. Poor Finn and Jake. Poor Finn, after realizing that he
has just stolen the gold from the Thief King. I mean, he didn't actually steal it from anybody. The Thief King's dead.
Yeah, but you know, it's the principle of the matter.
I guess it's the principle of the matter. I don't know how you can steal from a dead person, but I mean, I guess it's technically grave robbing, not really.
Anyway.
Not really regular robbing.
He has become impure, and decides to tread the path of darkness.
He decides that he must walk the dark path.
And he does.
Sort of.
And like Jake becomes his cape. And I really like that.
That was pretty funny.
It was pretty good looking. With his boots.
And he steals a bunch of garbage.
Which he doesn't use.
None of which
except for the soap. He uses the soap.
Except for the soap, which is very important.
He steals from a horse that was taking a bath. Which, you know... Horse can use that. The horse probably stole that soap. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But anyway, he uses the soap to purify Penny's putrid, thieving soul, and
in the process, purifies himself.
Even though, I mean, that's not really how that works either. But
it's symbolic.
Yeah. Being physically unclean is the same thing as being morally unclean.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Penny then steals Finn's shirt.
Really, it's a story about self-forgiveness. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I see. and revenge.
And revenge. It is a story about both these things and how they're both great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
You want another thing that's great?
Those boots.
Those boots. Really great boots.
This is just such a fun episode. I want to go rewatch it right now, just so I can look at all the little details of all the people running around stealing stuff.
It's such a fun-looking city.
I know, and it's got all these crazy towers and stuff. Yeah, and it's in a dome.
It looks like all the buildings. You might say it looks like all the buildings were stolen.
But it's just, and this whole city never, ever, ever appears ever again.
Nope.
This is the last time we ever see it, and I think that's it's kind of sad in one way because it's such a fun little city, but it's kind of amazing too because it's just that's all it needed to be. Yeah. And now it's forever. Think about
the space that they could have used to rehash City of Thieves was instead used for a completely new thing.
Yeah, it's kind of genius, and I probably.
I mean, maybe it wasn't.
Who knows? But I just think it's really great that they made this whole. It's it's not super complicated, but it's a pretty fleshed out sort of thing. It's like a weird dome city with these weird towers and such inside, and it's the City of Thieves.
Well, I'm not gonna say that they wrote a whole book about the lore of this place or something.
I mean, you could. You probably could. I could write a short story that is the story of
the City
Penny.
of Thieves.
let's give a backstory to Penny. No, let's not do that. They don't need to do that.
Of course not.
It's just a one-off thing.
Penny stole Finn's shirt and was never seen again.
Because
she's that good of a
maybe
thief.
Maybe one day she grew up and became Bandit Princess.
Maybe.
Who is a really weird character.
Yeah, I wonder if Bandit Princess was related to the King of Thieves.
We're tying these knots together in some kind of complicated web.
And I wonder if the King of Thieves was once part of I don't know, some sort of evil group that exists.
I wonder if Finn is actually the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Anyway, let's move right along. We talked a lot of time about City of Thieves.
City of Thieves.
It's a great episode.
Now,
what's our last on our list?
The Witch's Garden.
So in this episode, Jake loses magical powers.
Yep, because he eats a donut.
Yeah, he eats a donut in the witch's garden, and the witch is not happy about it.
Of course not. What a tragedy.
What a tragedy. So she steals his magical powers because he won't apologize. And it's like, whatever, I don't need these magical powers.
So they immediately head out on a quest to get their magical powers back.
Yeah, pretty much.
And their first idea is to try every mud puddle in Ooh, because that's how Jake remembers getting his powers.
Yeah. I just rolled around in a mud puddle, and when I came out, I was magic. Oh yeah, and we're neglecting to mention that by taking away his powers, it makes Jake like himself, but with like a human body and underwear.
It almost it's almost worse than taking she did more than taking his powers. He de-dogged him.
It's very weird looking. It's
very odd.
It's very surreal.
It's
And he's just like that for the rest of the episode.
But we meet the most important character in the whole series, Jake's subconscious.
Yeah. And I love how his subconscious shows up. It's like, this is too hard, man. Just give up.
It's like, what you're feeling deep down inside is right. This is too hard. You should do something easier. Like wear a hat. Here's a hat.
It's just so funny. Why?
I don't know why it's so funny. It's just so perfectly I don't know, delivered and timed.
No one knows. Jake's subconscious shows up. You have no idea what he's going to say. And last thing you expect him to say is, please give up, here's a hat.
Yeah.
And regular Jake is like, yeah, you're right.
Nice.
Meanwhile, Finn's like trying to get him to just do anything.
Yeah. To get him across the river of trash.
He builds a
catapult out of trash and launches him over into the mud puddle. And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Obviously. But then they are attacked by a mermaid? Question mark?
Yeah.
Doesn't actually look anything like a mermaid.
Doesn't look like a mermaid.
Has legs.
Is a skeleton.
Is a skeleton lady with legs and hair arms.
Right. Who,
not very mermaid-like. I guess she lives in a river of trash. Just like any other mermaid.
You know, does battle with Finn. Who gets covered in ink. And gets captured.
Because apparently mermaids...
And also
like
she has
birds?
a nest. She has a nest full of chicks, but she lived in the garbage river.
Yeah, I thought
also going back the garbage river. What is the garbage river?
There's just they're walking through like a desert, and there's just this river of garbage.
And it's like flowing. Just piles of garbage.
Yeah,
just like
how
floating.
is that floating?
What are you talking about? It's a river of garbage. It's all going to a junkyard from another junkyard.
I mean, it's never revealed, but I mean, because it's my canon in my head, I'm going to decide that it's all going to the Garbage Kingdom.
Right.
As they're all like, they redirect all garbage into their kingdom via garbage rivers to grow, and their kingdom is ever growing.
Yeah, and of course, it loops around, and like all the garbage that they throw out goes into the garbage river, which eventually comes back around into the garbage city.
I see.
That's how it works. I'm infiltrating your headcanon.
Self-sustaining garbage.
But anyway,
how would they throw out any garbage if they live in garbage? What would they throw out?
The garbage.
But
anyway,
but everything is garbage.
Well, they are garbage. That's why they need a constant supply of it. But anyway, don't do that. Anyway, what happens next? What does happen next?
Jake goes and apologizes.
Oh yeah, he goes and apologizes, but it's too late. He took too much time, so he's got to do a bunch of embarrassing stuff. His subconscious shows up, which the witch can see.
Yeah, the witch immediately.
So she says the subconscious has to do embarrassing stuff with him.
Thank goodness. So his conscious and unconscious minds can learn this very valuable lesson.
Yeah, and eventually, his subconscious dies.
Yeah, subconscious dies.
And Jake's really broken up about it. And the witch sees that, okay, I guess he's learned his lesson and gives him his powers back. And then he, like, slaps her cane and runs away with his subconscious, who's back now. And he says, I haven't learned a thing, or something like that.
Didn't you learn your lesson?
Nope.
Ha! Nope!
Oh, Jake.
And then he goes...
He'll never learn his lesson.
Yeah, and then he goes and saves Finn real quick.
Then he goes and beats up the mermaid.
Yeah. Mermaid.
And that's just how it ends.
And that's the end of episode 14.
And dear God,
the end of disc 1.
I mean,
of this journey.
There isn't a lot to talk about in terms of like the greater plot of Adventure Time quite yet. It's very much, what would you call it? Random.
Up in the air.
Pendleton Ward is like a crazy person, and I wonder what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really curious.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but like that was the second episode of... What was that?
Don't worry about it.
That was the second episode of our Retro Time podcast. Going back through our Adventure Time experiences.
We have to go back.
We have to go back. And I'm surprised by how much I'm enjoying these old episodes.
These old episodes are holding up very well so far.
I was kind of afraid I was going to be like a little bored because like I know like some of the sort of other stuff doesn't get started till much later. But I'm surprised by how much I'm enjoying all of this. It's pretty. Yeah. It's funny.
It's very good.
And you know, it holds your interest at the very least.
Exactly. Like even when there's not like continuity stuff going around, it's just such a sharply written show that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you can just sit down and watch an episode, and it's fun because it's just a funny episode.
They stand on their own, which is one of the main strengths of the early seasons is their standaloneness. Which, you know, sort of fades as time goes on.
True. Like, they get more in depth into, like, different stuff going on with all the different... But, like, it really is kind of, like...
It's such a natural progression.
Yeah, I like to say this a lot. It is really, like, a mythos. It's like a... there's just a bunch of characters, and they're all having their own stories, going through their own things as time goes on, you know?
Yeah. I mean, sure, it's a really wacky mythos.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still there.
It's really great. It's got its own... It's like, you know, you got, like, your sci-fi, you got your fantasy, you got your cyberpunk, you got your different genres. Adventure Time is like its own invented genre of story, you know? That's how I like to think of it.
I mean, it's kind of fantasy.
Obviously, but, like, it's also got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Stuff that you've never seen anywhere else, that's for sure. Also, I hope everybody is enjoying these little images I'm making for all these episodes.
If you're not, then, kill yourself.
I'm really proud of them, guys. You know, it's really funny, but I think, like, I'm just imagining, like, two robots, like a robot wizard and swordsman going on adventure is very much the aesthetic of Adventure Time, really, when you think about it. A robot wizard.
A duo of robot adventurers.
Yeah, it's...
Who go questing through fantasy landscapes.
Yeah, it seems like a very Adventure Time sort of thing, don't you think?
Seems like that would happen in
Adventure Time. It occurred to me, and I really like the thought of that. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Next time, we'll... I don't know.
What's our first episode next time?
What is
life?
Alright, so I'm just reading the titles, and, like, I'm having a good time. The next episode is called What is Life? I don't remember what happens in this episode, but it's probably going to be amazing. What is life?
Adios.
Goodbye.